Away from sports, the 42nd Ordinary Meeting of Defense Chiefs under the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, has officially kicked off this Wednesday at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Clevius correspondent reports that the meeting is geared towards bringing discussions around regional security to the front burner, especially at this time when the bloc is considering the establishment of a force that will counter security challenges and bring peace to the region. We have the details. In this hall are top military leaders from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS member states. They have converged for the 42nd Ordinary Meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Defense Chiefs to brainstorm, analyze and strategize ways of addressing key security issues affecting the sub-region. Top on the agenda is the design of a roadmap for the establishment of the ECOWAS peace support missions for member states and the activation of ECOWAS standby force to counter terrorism and other forms of insecurity in the region. In his remarks, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff and Chairman ECOWAS Committee of Defense Chiefs, General Christopher Musa, said the complexity of the security landscape requires the sharing of intelligence across the region, while noting that the presence of the defense chiefs indicates commitment to shared interests for peace in the region.
We are all aware of the threats that confront our nations and regions. These threats include terrorism, insurgency, organized crimes, violent agitations, and recently, unconstitutional takeover of government, to mention but a few. These challenges not only threaten our individual national security, but also undermine the social fabric and socio-economic development of the entire region. Recent challenges like the military coup d'etat in some countries in the region have had unintended consequences and have threatened our collective democratic values. This trend must be discouraged as it negates our core responsibilities as military professionals. Let me therefore use this opportunity to emphasize that as democratic countries, we, the military, must uphold democratic values in line with our various constitutions. I am also optimistic that this meeting will assist us to prevent such abnormalities while strengthening our collective resolve to bring about peace and sustainable development to our region.
Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, ECOWAS Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, stated that the 42nd Ordinary Meeting was delayed due to political developments ravaged by coups in the region. He added that the meeting will allow the chiefs to review the implementation of the decisions taken at previous meetings.
The convening of this ordinary session has therefore become pivotal, as it will allow us to review the evolving security environment with a view to repositioning the region's defense architecture and posture to adequately respond to the emergency before us.
In his remarks, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, noted that joint efforts in combating insecurity are vital in safeguarding the region. He therefore urged participants to engage in dialogues that will strengthen cooperation and regional capabilities.
As we convene here today, we are reminded of the profound significance of our work, which is to ensure the security of our sub-region. Let me remind us all that the security landscape of West Africa is presently marked by both complex challenges and opportunities for cooperation. Accordingly, joint efforts towards countering terrorism, managing cross-border crimes, hybrid threats, as well as enhancing regional security are vital to safeguarding our nations and promoting sustainable development.
As nations that constitute the ECOWAS, we in the Nigerian Parliament, the National Assembly of Nigeria, have remained committed to supporting the executive arm of government of Nigeria to ensure that necessary and needed resources, as will be required by ECOWAS, as far as Nigeria is concerned, are provided and approved.
The battle for the eradication of proliferation of small weapons is very key in terms of the entrenchment of our internal security mechanism. That is a major challenge that we have at this particular point in time. Let me also salute your courage for the relative stability that we are having within the region. Yes, it can be better, but the good thing is that we're not where we were. Of course, we are not yet where we want to be.
At the end of the previous meeting, last year August, the defense chiefs had agreed to a comprehensive and holistic approach towards political security and diplomatic dimensions in addressing the situation in Niger Republic. Of the 15 defense chiefs expected at this meeting, those of Cape Verde, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Guinea-Bissau and Togo were absent. Still talking security, security agencies in Nigeria have called for calm and dialogue amidst the nationwide protests which began on August 1, 2024 in various states across the country. Speaking on the latest security developments in the country, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, at a press conference with heads of security agencies on Tuesday in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, vowed not to allow enemies to disturb the peace and territorial integrity of the country. Let's now join Clearview's defense correspondent for details. The hashtag End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria is currently the most discussed issue in the country. The past few days has placed the government in difficulty trying to ease the anger and frustration of citizens in relation to economic hardship, corruption and bad governance. Since August 1, thousands of Nigerians have taken to the streets, protesting and calling for key reforms while demanding accountability from its leaders. In the last 7 days of the protest, loss of lives, injuries, destruction of public and private properties, alleged external sponsorship and hijack of the protest by criminal elements have been reported. Meanwhile, the hashtag End Bad Governance protest took a new twist earlier this week as protesters in some northern states like Kano, Kaduna and Bauchi were seen clutching and holding up banners bearing the Russian flag. In the wake of growing tensions and concerns, heads of key security agencies in the country have converged at the defense headquarters in Abuja for an all-important press conference on latest developments in the country. With one voice, they have vowed to stop enemies from disturbing the peace and territorial integrity of the country, while urging Nigerians to tour the path of peace and dialogue in resolving the issues.
None of us here is happy to hear any Nigerian is injured for whatever reason. It's our duty to protect Nigerians. The only people we're after are those ones that don't mean us well, the enemies of the state. And anyone who makes himself an enemy of the state then will be ready to face the law. We're going to remain focused, committed. We're going to respect human rights, the rights of everyone who is lawfully performing his task or his duty, but we will not relent in pursuing those that have continued to encourage unconstitutional takeover of government or subversion, or those ones are into vandalism or destruction of lives and property. And we just want to make that very clear. We remain very professional. We have talked to our men outside in the field that they must respect the rights of everyone.
We still have in few states, in Kano, Kaduna, Katsina and Bauchi state, group of people who started campaign, subversive campaign, waving flags of other countries and openly calling for military takeover of government. This is not a protest, but an offense of treason. The Nigerian police has arrested a number of them, and they will be dealt with accordingly.
We are going to work very closely together to sustain and even, go on above the present situation of the form of operation that security agencies are doing. From the core, we are ready. We are championing the cause of peace, trying to, educate Nigerians that there's no need for this protest, and that if you want to do protest, you do protest without violence.
I'd like to let Nigerians know that there has been a lot that is going on to address these issues that are related to ameliorate this situation through a mixture of fiscal policies of government and a number of strategic interventions from ministries, departments, and agencies of government. One of the things that I recall is the intervention through the distribution of strategic food items, which was released from the National Grain Reserves about a month ago. This was released to all states of the Federation.
The places that we desire to go to live in, they are who they are because they obey laws, because they love their nations. People protest, but protest can also be of significant good if people adhere to the rules of engagement. In situations where protesters destroy public infrastructure, PIFA, loot, and undermine public peace, that definitely will not be tolerated.
Some of these sponsors, some of these people who are actually in diaspora, we have a number of them who are actually instigating this mayhem that we're seeing right now. What we've done is we've had them on our watch list, and they've been watch listed. We have them on our radars, and we're making sure that any attempt they make to come into the country will notify the necessary authority.
While promising to respect the fundamental human rights of citizens, the Nigerian military and other security agencies called on Nigerians to be patient as the government is working tirelessly to solve the lingering socio-economic challenges bedeviling the country.